How y'all doing? This is Rob Bowman, my Preacherman R&B, and this is another episode of Retro TV 91, and this time I'm doing another movie reviews, and this time I'm reviewing Contraband. And what Contraband's about is about Chris Faraday. He's an ex-smuggler, and he's doing, he has his own security business now, and what happens is his brother-in-law is smuggling drugs, but the customs agents board his ship, the ship that he's working on. He has to dump the drugs, and he goes back and he tells the guy that he was smuggling for that he had to dump the drugs. He didn't have no choice, and the guy he was smuggling for crashes into his car and kills his friend and puts him in the hospital. And Chris goes to see him, and Chris finds out what's going on. So Chris goes to the guy who ran over his brother-in-law's car and tells him to stay away from his family. And the guy says, if he dies, if your brother-in-law dies, his death is your death, and I'll come after your family. And then Chris beats this guy down and comes up with a plan. He's going to get on his dad's old ship, and he's going to bring in some fake money. And they get the plan all settled out. He picks everybody that he wants to help him that's working on the ship, and they go and they work on the ship. And the plan is to go to Panama City, go get the fake money, and get back on the ship in time to be able to go home. And so to make this happen, they have a short little window that they have to go get the fake money and get back on the ship before it leaves. So one of the guys that Chris has worked for him is the engine guy, and they're draining the oil in the engine. That way, it will delay the ship from taking off, and they drain too much oil, because Chris has to go do something, and he got one of the guys draining oil, but he drains too much oil. And when they're trying to stop the ship, and they're not able to stop the ship because the propeller ain't working, because there's no oil coming to the propeller, and they stop the ship just in time by taking down the anchor and only knocks over a couple of crates. And while they're trying to fix the ship, Chris Faraday and his brother-in-law and another guy that's helping them go and try to get this fake money. And they go to the guy, and Chris examines the money, and they used the wrong paper, and Chris is mad, so he goes to the supplier, and it's a guy that he's known for a long time. And Andy, Chris's brother-in-law, gets a call from the guy who's been threatening him, and he has to go get drugs with the money that Chris had. And Chris is trying to get this fake money, and he can't, because Andy's done ran off with the money, and they have to go help this guy rob an armored truck. So they help him do this, and they get out of there just in time to get back to the ship. And while they was getting back to the ship, there was an expensive painting that was stolen by the guys that was helping, that's in the back of the ship, and they put it in this container and get all the fake money into the highway spot and the drugs that Andy got, and they are off to home. But what Chris doesn't know is his best friend Sebastian is behind all this, and Sebastian's been watching his family while Chris is gone, and Swanson accidentally knocks Chris's wife into a side counter of his house, and he thinks she's dead, so he's trying to bury her
before Chris gets back. And just when Chris is getting back, he saves his wife just in time before she got covered with cement, and she comes back to him, and she's back alive. Well, what happens is Sebastian calls the captain of the ship and rats on Chris, and Chris is able to get the funny money into the ocean before he gets caught, and also the drugs off the ship before customers can get to it. And then he sets up the guys that's been threatening his family, and he hides the drugs in the vacuum cleaner of the captain's that the captain has, and he sets them up, and the captain and them other guys get arrested for having possession of drugs. And Chris and them sell the fake money and get the money off that, and then they also find out how much the painting's worth on the black market, which they have, and that's the end of the movie. If y'all ever watch Contraband, what do y'all like about it? As always, Christian and obviously I'm not got to see also support